Well, I finally found something that's going to take care of cleaning up this camper. This camper is it's about 2.5, 3 years old, and at that point you start getting a lot of oxidation. And if you look at these videos here, you'll see I've tried different kinds of waxes. I've tried buffing. I've tried doing all different things with different kinds of waxes, and had all kinds of fights with it. And so finally did, after I watched a good video by Wines, Pines, and Canines. They recommended a product, and I highly recommend it, and I'm going to go through a few things on it. And basically it comes down to, you have these three different polishes, and you start off with this oxidation remover, and it has a little bit of grit to it, and your rag gets pretty dirty when you're cleaning that off with that. You do that initially, wipe that down, then you come across with the high gloss polish and let it set for a while. You do this in the shade in the cool temperatures. That's why I'm doing it in the fall, and you don't want to have direct sunlight while you're doing this. And you wipe that off, and then eventually you come down with the pure wax. So what I've done so far, I've actually done this entire side on this side here. I've done part of my side, the other side, which is actually where my sun comes in from this side here. And actually I've got a lot of oxidation, so I'm waiting to do that little by little. And right now we're going to work on this back, and you can kind of see how I work it, and you'll see how I put the one on first, then wipe it down, and then like the second, and then the third. And this is really the way to do it. I would highly recommend this is the way you need to clean it up and polish it, at least after 2 years or so. So I got the first oxidation remover on there, and like I say, you'll still see smeary areas on that. The main thing is that you kind of make sure you give it a hard rub and get any of the debris or dirt off of that. And like even over they say don't use it on your decals, but I did on mine, and you really scrub hard and get all that, any kind of mildew or mold or anything off that. You want it to get to the point where you can feel it, and it kind of feels a little bit smoother. If you feel any rough spots, then you need to go back over those areas. But I'm trying to fight the sun because this tree's helping me, but I'm getting indirect sunlight, so I think I'm going to be okay. So now I'm going to go to step 2, which is the high gloss polish. And it's a white material. You make sure you shake up each one of these, because I didn't shake up my other one, and it had kind of separated. So you make sure you shake them up before you start them off, and we'll get started on doing the top part with the polish and work our way down on this. Now if you find that your oxidation is really bad, you may have to pull a buffer out and use a buffer to get that oxidation off. Mine is borderline right now. I'm just have to really work it hard to get that oxidation off of there. And that's with your first coat. Like I say, we're coming back with polish now. When I put this polish on, I'm going to leave it on and let it dry, and then come back with another dry cloth to get that off. So you'll notice that you can kind of see the polish smeared on there. You should see it, a light white polish that's on there, actually left on all the time. You want to use a new dry. I'm using these towels, and they're working out pretty good. They're starting to get a little dirtier now. I'm going to have to get some more, swap them up. But I use a different towel for each one of the actual waxes or the oxidation remover. And in this case, I'm going to have to come up, start at the top. I'm going to work my way all the way back down, trying to get all those smear marks out of that. You can kind of see it a little bit right in there. And then once we get this completely done, then we'll go, the last thing we'll put on is that pure wax. See the shine on there? I've got down all the way to the bottom where it says race, and you'll see that's where I've left off. I got one little section right in here to do. get that done, and then we'll start putting the wax on all the way over here to the light, this bottom section done. Make sure you get any of the wax that you got on any of your trim. Wipe it off good. Okay, last part is we're going to put on this pure wax. I'm going to put it on with a rag and make sure we get all the areas covered and make sure we don't get much on the trim if possible. And we're going to put that on and then we'll let that dry, and then final wipe down on that one. This is a critical that you don't have direct sun. Like say we've got the sun over here kind of at a weird angle. The actual sun is not on the back, but it actually is in my face, which is a pain, but at least I can kind of see where the smear marks. So this last coat, you want to make sure you get all your smear marks out and all your trim cleaned up good. So we'll get to it. Now, if you look at it, you'll see the smears where I've actually got that wax on there. And so now the whole idea is to let that dry. Make sure you don't have any glops of wax on it. Let it dry up a little bit, and then you're going to take a clean towel, the cleanest one you've got. Start wiping at the top corner and bring yourself down. Make sure you're getting all the streaks out. So I didn't tell you earlier, but I was talking about the rags that we had here. You definitely want to buy a package of these microfibers. That's what I'm using. That works the best. And we're pretty much got this done on this back side. And if you look across there, you'll see it's nice and shiny. If there's any places that you missed, you'll see those by looking through the edge like this. And if you feel like you have to go back and do it again, that's fine. And like I say, in worst case scenario, you have to use the buffer to kind of get some of that oxidation out. And I still have the big hard side over here on this other side. I've already done a little section here, but I've got some more. And you can say this is where my sun from the west comes, and this is where it's pretty well baked out over here. So I have a lot of oxidation. I've already done a little section here, but we'll get to that. And I just wanted to show you what I did, and after fighting different ways of doing this, this is what's come up the best. And I thank Wines, Pines, and Canines for recommending it. And I'll leave a link, which is actually their link. I'll leave in the bottom underneath in the comments section. If you want to order that, that'll help them out. And glad to share it with all you, because it's definitely what you want to use on this type of a camper. So that's about all I have for this RV short, and I hope that helps you out, keeping these things looking as new as they can.